What's going on, Quest Nation? Welcome back to the Quest. Andy here. We've got a loaded mailbag just under a week out from the regular season opener. And what's good? Mark Speltz, WI Cards, Chris. Good morning, guys. Good morning. So, Devonta Smith. I like it. Good question, man. So, first up, we got a loaded mailbag. So we're going to talk a little bit about, got Nick Chubb, buy, sell, hold from VA Beach. We've got Russell Wilson cards. Are they still undervalued? What can he get into from $50 to $100 from Honey Nut? Tuckleberry Finn wants to talk about short print Prism from 2021 and what he should price them at for a potential breakout. So we're going to talk about how I price my buy it now listings for when I anticipate a player breaks out, buying into them low. What do I price them at? How do I set my pricing? How do I determine that whenever I'm going to list those cards? And then Jadu Ray wants me to talk about, how to price serial number card, lower serial number, jersey number match, and or color match cards. So I'm going to talk about some insights, and we're also going to look at 2022 XRC, one of the hottest, if not the hottest rookie product right now for the 2022 rookies. So plus, guys, if you're just hopping in, drop any questions you have in the live chat. We'll dig into those as well. Let's dig in. That's good. Morning, Ramrod. Man, it is early for you, isn't it? All right. Let's see. Let me share my screen. Nick Chubb, buy, sell, hold, guys. Well, did you guys know that Nick Chubb had the third most breakaway runs last season? So this guy is a highlight reel machine, ultra dominant at Georgia, and has been a super dominant rusher in the league since. He's one of the best rushers in the league, pure rushers. He gets very little receiving work. We know the Browns are in a pretty difficult division with the Ravens, Steelers, and the Bengals, who just made it to the Super Bowl. They will get Deshaun Watson back against the Texans after their bye week heading into week 13. So the one thing about Nick Chubb, and he should benefit from Deshaun Watson, is the fact that Nick Chubb faced a crazy amount of stacked boxes. Look at the stacked carry front. The second most stacked carry front in the league. That's because a lot of people already expected the Browns to rush the ball. They know Kevin Stefanski wants to establish the run. And so they were expecting Nick Chubb to take the ball. And even with all those stacked fronts, he was able to produce the yards after contact that he did, the breakaway runs that he did. So he's been an absolute dominant rusher. But when we look at his prices, to me, Nick Chubb right now is a hold, right? It's hard for me to buy into a $70 rookie ticket auto. It's not terrible. So what I did was I just coming over here, just perusing through the sold transactions for Nick Chubb before then ultimately coming over here to our Keepa map and doing a compare between Nick Chubb's Prism PSA 10, Saquon Barkley's Prism PSA 10, DJ Moore, and Cortland Sutton. These are arguably the most hyped 2018 rookies right now heading into this season. And there's not a lot of sold transactions on some of these guys. Look at the population report here for DJ Moore and Cortland Sutton. The pop on their base Prism PSA 10, 36 for DJ Moore, 63 for Cortland Sutton, whereas Saquon Barkley has 938, Nick Chubb 314. Well, Saquon Barkley has that early first-round draft capital, touted as a generational talent, and he had an insane rookie year. So those things all kind of go into that pop. And Nick Chubb, the Cleveland fan base has grown a lot. So another factor we consider is the size of the fan base, the size of the market. So when I look at the chart here, I think somebody's mowing the yard out there. So sorry if you guys get some lawnmower background noise, but must be mowing day. But the green line here is Saquon Barkley. The light blue line is Nick Chubb. So I've got $56 right now on average for Saquon, and that's actually down. It looks like there was a recent spike here just in the past few days. Saquon, the Giants have been really hush-hush in training camp and the recent practices about how they're using Saquon. We know Brian Daboll is a very creative offensive play caller from Buffalo. So I think Saquon's going to have a tremendous amount of opportunity and workload within that offense. It's going to be very exciting to see. And if he could stay healthy, I think he's got easy RB, like number one overall RB potential, get back to where he was in his rookie season. And maybe this is that year for Saquon. So maybe, it's hard for me to buy in because they're already like at an elevated price point. So, Nick Chubb, $67. It's not bad, but how much potential upside does Nick Chubb have in the Browns? It's going to be a rocky start to the season. I think, they play the Panthers week 1, that revenge matchup for Baker Mayfield. So I anticipate to hold Nick Chubb right now. It's kind of holding him. I still think he's got, if you look at how old he is, he's 26.7. So you got another really good year to 2 years out of him. So I kind of want to hold him right now and see if the Browns, how they start out, if they can win some games with Jacoby Brissett, if they can string some wins together and like hold their team together until Deshaun Watson comes back. And then if Deshaun Watson plays good and kind of pushes those defenses back, then we could really see Nick Chubb come alive down the stretch. And if the Browns get a playoff push, man, that would be fantastic for Nick Chubb at this point. I think that's kind of what we need. Like, he's been a great statistical rusher. It would be wonderful also to see them maybe trade Kareem Hunt as well. That would leave more opportunity for Nick Chubb. So I think you're holding. I think you're doing the same thing with Saquon. I mean, you could kind of pay up for some of these, but I think ultimately you're holding, and because you've been buying into Chubb, you've been buying into Saquon. Well, unless you're new, like if you've been in the hobby for at least a couple of years, chances are you have some Saquon, you have some Chubb in your collection. And at this point, you're just kind of holding to see what happens, understanding that they still have a couple good years left under their belt. But of course, like I tell everybody, man, go ahead and get those cards listed. There's no harm in listing those cards in a buy it now format. And I think this is a perfect segue into, pricing your cards. So this question from Tuckleberry Finn, and pricing your cards here. Let me go. Okay. So talk about pricing your cards. Let's say you buy a Prism Silver Nick Chubb for $30. How do you price that? Because I always advocate, go ahead and get that card listed in a buy it now format. What's going on, Broncos? Gridiron Stars. Yay. Good morning. Good morning. Friday AM session. Man. Got to get some analysis here on Friday morning. Got the coffee going. Got the Bucks coffee mug today. Oh, it's good stuff. So pricing the cards after breakout. It's important for me to look at guys that are already broken out and what those cards are priced at. So some guys that like looks juicy to buy into at certain, like a $10 Prism Silver Javonte Williams. Love Javonte Williams this year. I think he's got one of the highest quest scores, like highest quest score, which is comprised of their dynasty rank, their age, their prior production metrics, their college profile, their athletic profile, the team size, the popularity of the team, the power rankings of the team, and then also their fantasy projections and their Hall of Fame marker probability. So these super young guys don't have any points for that, but that's where, Brady really shines, right? So I combine all that together to get myself a quest score that kind of gives me an idea of how hyped they are. And so I want to look at guys that are already broken out and look and see what their cards are trading at. So I've got 2020 Optic Hollow Jonathan Taylor's here, and I can see those Optic Hollows are between $20 and $30. And from what I've seen, and here's a Justin Jefferson Black Prism Silver for $30. So from what I've seen, and you can see how Select is definitely devalued compared to the Prism, compared to the Optic Hollow. Select is going to be underneath that. And Mosaic is probably even just slightly under that. But here's another good example of an Optic Hollow from Justin Jefferson for $23.50. So if you're buying these 2021 guys that you expect to break out this year for $10, then you want to price that card, I would say, between $20 and $30. There's nothing wrong with doing a $29.95 or best offer and accepting offers at like $24. The only thing that's a little bit of a downside is you're now over that $20 threshold where you can charge $1 shipping. So I like to do a lot of 1995 buy it nows and accept and allow it to accept offers at $17.50 and charge 53-cent shipping with a eBay standard envelope. I sell a ton of cards that way because it's the shipping's low, my overhead's low, so I'm able to cut back on what I sell the card for. And I think it's just very attractive for buyers out there. There's a lot of buyers that will easily press that buy it now button on a whim for a $20 short print card. So I think that's the sweet spot. So like, I'm not going to buy the Najee Harris at 20 if I'm going to try and sell it at 20. But if you can get like Trask, okay, if I can get it for $5, yeah, totally. Because now I turn around, maybe he's a quarterback. So now maybe I could get, if he were to get a start someday, then get that hype back, or next preseason when he gets a lot of, reps again, list that card, sell it for closer to $30 because he's a quarterback. So I understand quarterbacks would probably go a little bit higher. You don't need as much of a spike in production and hype and relevance and stuff like that to see their prices go up, especially the younger guys. But Javonte Williams, if I'm buying this at 10, this is a card I'm going to turn around and list and buy it now because we love that week 1 matchup against the Seattle Seahawks. Monday Night Football, such a juicy revenge matchup that Russell Wilson should smash. And talk about stacked carry fronts. Javonte Williams shouldn't see too many stacked carry fronts because of how Russell Wilson is going to stretch the defense with Cortland Sutton and KJ Hamler. And Jerry Jeudy. So, and hopefully Albert OK is a part of that. And so as he's like stretching the defense back, that's just going to open up more running lanes, more opportunities for Javonte Williams. And he's definitely the lead dog in this backfield, even though it may be, if Melvin Gordon's healthy, it's definitely going to be some type of a timeshare. But ultimately, he is the young stud in this offense, running back. And of course, the famous statistic for Javonte last year that everybody hangs their hat on is the forced missed tackles per touch. He led the NFL even ahead of Nick Chubb, guys like that in missed tackles, or evaded tackles, forced missed tackles. So basically what I'm looking to do is I am looking to target optic hollows. I'm looking to target prism silvers in that $5 to $10 price range. Wow. Okay. Oh, best offer accepted. So sometimes when you see this, if it just has one bid at 99 cents, don't get fooled. This is not actually closed at 99 cents. What you got to do if you don't have like one of those extensions, I know some people said, hey, get the alt extension for your computer, because it's basically a Google Chrome extension that'll show you the best offer accepted price right on eBay. But I don't know, some of those extensions require you to install some interesting stuff on your computer, and I don't know. There was a whole scandal not too long ago about them, like I guess taking all your information and something like that. So. But I'll come over here and find, okay, wow, Prism Silver, Jalen Waddle, $6.50. That's a good deal, especially when I can go back and look, August 28th, just 4 days ago, $12.99, $15, $30 on August 24th. So this is a perfect example of capitalizing in an auction and then turning around and selling it. Another one, subpar picture, an auction, and buying it in the auction for under 10 or around there, just because, it just goes on, whether it ends in the afternoon or whether it ends on just an atypical day. And, people just are wanting to force a sale. And the truth is that the way to make the most money out of your cards is to put them in a buy it now format and let them sit and let people go and pick them and go and reach for them, as I call it, or go and, it's kind of impulsive, but you could see this card has a pretty easy potential to sell for around $30. And that's the truth. And so that's what I would recommend. And this person even sold it for $30 with a $4.80 shipping. And I I don't ever charge 480. I don't know about you guys, but I charge a flat $3.85. Most of my labels, the bubble mailers with tracking, come out to anywhere between $3.50 to $4 max. But I mean, I always charge 385, and I find that a lot of people actually don't mind paying the 385 especially because they know they're getting the bubble mailer, they're getting a better tracking method, because a lot of times in the plain white envelope, the eBay standard envelope, I'm going to say a lot of times, sometimes they don't scan it. They don't scan that QR code, and the tracking number doesn't actually get registered. So I've got one right now. A guy reached out to me. Hey, I think it was an Allen Robinson, Topps Platinum, something like that, rookie card, bought for like $10. And he hasn't got it yet. So I'm like, oh, okay. All right. Wait till the end of the week. If you don't get it, then I have to refund the money, whatever, so it happens every once in a while, but I'd say that was like 1 out of 50, or something like that. It's been really rare. It's only the second time that I've had that happen with the eBay standard envelope. And I've sold a ton of eBay standard envelope in the past. That's interesting. So yeah, it is. I guess you do have to consider the cost of the supplies. So tape, like how much is a piece of tape? But you guess, you buy a roll of tape, what I like to do is go buy it in bulk. So like I buy a big thing of padded bubble mailers from if you have Sam's Club where you're at, we have Sam's Club here, or Costco. Costco is another one. Or like look on Amazon or something, and you can buy this stuff in volume. Like I get a pack of 25 bubble mailers for $10. So if I divide that out, that's like less than 50 cents per bubble mailer. And I get it. You charge for supplies, and everything adds up at the end of the day. I like to keep it at 385. I don't like to go over 4, because then I feel like it does start to have this a little bit of appearance or perception of it, the shipping's getting expensive. So yeah, I like to keep my shipping down. I used to try a lot of free shipping with a few dollar higher sell price, and I haven't really seen that really affect the actual listing as much. So I've actually just started doing 385 flat number across the board for bubble mailers, 53 cents flat number across the board for eBay standard envelope. And it's been working like a charm for me this entire year. So now I'm actually a top rated seller on eBay. That's what, it's not I don't have like a massive, I think I've sold like 100 cards, in the past 60 days. So it's not like massive, not like our man Andrew Perry here. I got to get him back on the channel. He posted up his sold card transactions, just like his total numbers for August. I mean, I think he sold like 350 cards in August. Mostly, he said like 90% football. He's just absolutely crushing it. If I wasn't creating so much content, I would like be a better eBay seller. But we do okay. AB says, open your incoming packages carefully and reuse them when you sell. I've never paid. That's another great point. I literally have an entire box over here of bubble mailers of cards that I bought, and I do agree with that 100%. Use those. You don't even have to buy the packs. The reason why I bought the packs is because I was doing group submissions through our patreon.com/football cards program and sending those back out to people. And so it was easier for me, and these were bigger bubble mailers. It was easier for me to get those new ones and pack everything in there, and everything would fit in there. So these were a little bit bigger. But if I'm just like selling a card, I would reuse. I reuse them all the time. Yeah, you could tape a label over an old label and send it out like that. I've done that before too. Like if it was a sticker label that was on the package, you couldn't get it off, then you just put that right on there. So let's talk about Russell Wilson, man. Is he still a buy? Is he still undervalued? If you had a $50 to $100, what would you get into? So looking at his most sold cards, it's going to be the Topps Chrome. Stands in the background variation here. This is going to be the most liquid one. Besides that, it's going to be the Prism. Of course, I think the best card for his rookie year is the Prism, but a lot of guys out there in the hobby say Topps Chrome for 2012, and it's close, man. It's close. It's definitely close. You can see there's a ton of transactions. The high last September was $787, but a trend of about $700. And now that card is about a $250 card. Actually, a trend right now, $292. Buy it now yesterday or 2 days ago for $260, $275, $309. Buy it now a couple days ago on Tuesday. So, yeah, someone got him a little deal on this $260. I think that's not bad. Obviously, I do think Russell Wilson cards have room to go up. I think they will go up after they smash the Seahawks week 1. Ultimately, I do another comparison here and actually compare his Prism PSA 10 to Dak Prescott 2016 Prism PSA 10 and Derek Carr Prism PSA 10. I think Derek Carr is an interesting comp because he's in the same division. And obviously, we can't compare Mahomes. Mahomes is going to be like off the charts here and because his Prism is, like $7,000 PSA 10. It's just in another stratosphere. And you could Justin Herbert's, you would have to look at. So what's so interesting, what's challenging, and this is where it becomes very challenging to really pinpoint the price point of where you want to get in and out at a certain card because there's so many different variances between the years. Like, right, I can't compare Russell Wilson to Ryan Tannehill and Kirk Cousins from the 2012 draft class because those guys aren't even close to the level of success that Russell Wilson has had. Russell Wilson, right here, you can see it. So one thing I do like to look at is the NFL Hall of Fame probability. This is important. This is an important resource. ProFootballReference.com/HOF, or you could just Google NFL Hall of Fame probability. Look at where Russell Wilson's at here, 80.29. This is in the Joe Namath range. This is in the top tier range of quarterbacks that are going into the Hall of Fame or already in the Hall of Fame. The average Hall of Fame QB is 109 score here from Pro Football Reference. That's, Matt Ryan's a 102. Okay. Phillip Rivers a 98. So Terry Bradshaw's a 95. So we look at if Russell Wilson just has a few more good years, I mean, he's pretty much a lock for the Hall of Fame. So you cannot compare him to Cousins or Tannehill in the draft class. You got to compare him to other guys. And so when you go to other years, for example, Derek Carr has got 3 different base photo, actually maybe 4. He's got the one where he's looking right. He's got this goofy one where he's pointing. He's got this one where he's got the ball just cocked right there, just like looking forward. And I think there might be one more as well, or maybe it's just the 3. But then within each 3, there's a bunch of variations. So it's very spread out, right? Whereas in 2012, you have those 2 photo variations, and it's not very spread out. In 2016, it's not very spread out as well. I believe it's just a 1 base photo, and it's silver out of the box for rookies. And you can see that's why the pop on this is 1,293. The pop on Russell Wilson's 567. And the pop on Derek Carr is only 351. That's because there's so many different variations in 2014. So trying to find a good card to compare him to. Here, the blue line is Russ. The green line is Dak. And Dak kind of this last transaction kind of dipped down there to 330. That was a deal somebody got because the trend is about 450. And that Derek Carr base one, not a great comparison, I know, but it's 164.50. I would say, I guess the one I'd be looking at is the pointing one. This is the most rare photo variation. It's the pointing right here. But you can see, like, I come in here, I can't even find transaction. I can find one transaction of a 9 that was from the 30th, that went for 57. I think that was not a bad deal because I think a lot of people don't understand the print run differences between those different photo variations. There's no serial numbers. So ultimately, if I had $50, something like this, the Topps Platinum Refractor is tempting. I think it does have potential to go up, but the Topps Platinum Refractor is going to be treated like a select premier silver today. It just is. It's going to be below the finest. It's going to be below the Topps Chrome, the Prism. And so that's kind of how you have to treat it. There's some interesting cards, a lot of different cards from Topps that year. And if they have the rookie card logo for the right price point, I think they make sense. like this Topps Magic one, it makes sense for a cheap enough entry price point, you know? So like a PSA 10, I wouldn't want to pay more than $60, something like that for it. But if I could get it for that, I could see people reaching for it a little bit higher because it does have that rookie card logo. I think that was one that I tracked on here. Yeah, Topps Magic right here. You could see this is the third most sold card in the last 30 days for Russ in a PSA 10 format. You can see a buy it now going here for $100. So you can see people pay $100 for this card, even though it is a base paper card. It's got that rookie card logo. It's licensed from Topps from 2012. Here's another buy it now that went for 120. So and then in auction 60. So this presents a perfect opportunity for you to come in here, spend $60 and buy something like this, and then turn around, list it in a buy it now format because it's PSA 10, because it's got the rookie card logo and that revenge matchup. Put it in a buy it now format, 100. Put it at 125 or best offer. Sell it at 100. That's it. That's an easy profit right there. You know, take your profit and walk away. Something like this as well, I found earlier, like this, you have to be very careful in the 2012 Prism. I wouldn't buy into it, this card at 200. Absolutely not. It's really off center. You can see that. But also, this card has been pretty much going around $100 to $120 all off season. So getting that 200 off center, no bueno. The base Topps Chrome, this one right here. Boom. Here we go. Base Topps Chrome is a little off center, but this is not a bad deal with the or best offer button here, $49.99, and getting that maybe around 40. That's not a bad. It doesn't present as much upside as that PSA 10 Topps Magic though, because this one is a little off center, and that grade on a base card is going to go a long ways. So yeah, if I had $60, that's what I would do right there. Let's see what's going on. Cedric Desloges. Let's see. Yeah, I know, Chris. This is just crazy. Just picked up a Topps Chrome. Russell Wilson stands in the background. PSA 10 for $275, hoping for a playoff run. Yeah, nice, solid. So AB is doubling down on that. So if we looked at the chart for like Russ to see where you got in at, yeah, I mean you actually got a slight deal, $275. Look at the 1 year chart. Yeah, we talked about that $650, $700 card, and right now you got in. Yeah, you got in right there, 260. 275 was this your transaction right here, this buy it now for 275. You can see it was already a buy it now on Tuesday for 309.90. So this card has definitely got potential being one of his most liquid cards in the market. Tuckleberry said, I think newer collectors like myself are more familiar with the Prism brand, so I see that increasing over the Topps Chrome over time. Yeah, I agree that there's nothing better from 2012 than the Prism, but as the Prism gets too expensive, and as he draws in more hobbyists that are strictly focused on quarterbacks, right? Because Russell Wilson has that ability to draw in hobbyists from basketball, baseball. And you look at where the baseball market, it's driven by Topps. You know, look at the F1 market, driven by Topps. Some of these other sectors within the hobby are driven by Topps. Topps is a major brand, especially guys that, like me, that were in the hobby big time as a kid in the early 90s and mid 90s. Topps was massive. Topps was everything, you know, or even 80s. So, you know, understand that the Topps is still going to be right up there. It's not going to get the same resale value as a Prism, but it's going to do pretty well. It's going to be right behind it, man, because that Topps Chrome is primo. Look at the Topps Chrome Peyton Manning rookie card. That is his most liquid rookie card. And we talked about that yesterday morning with Carter. So yeah, man, don't sleep on the Topps products. What's your thoughts about that trade, CeeDee Lamb and Ezekiel Elliott versus Swift and Deontay Johnson? Did you post a question up earlier, Cedric? Did I miss some questions? that a fantasy question? CD Lamb, Ezekiel Elliott versus Swift. All right, I started for you. Let me get through the rest of the mailbag here. Topps Chrome will be coming back eventually, right? So with Fanatics purchasing Topps and purchasing, they have the NFL PA license, but they don't have the NFL license. So that's why they came out with Bowman U, licensed directly to the player through the name, image, likeness program, through the Players Association. But once they get the actual NFL license, which could come as soon as, I think, 2026 is when Panini contract now is going to be up with the NFL. Pretty sure that's right. So 2026. Now, unless they buy it out earlier, they'd have to buy out those exclusive rights that Panini has in place with the NFL. I'm not sure Panini wants to sell. I think maybe if Panini senses that the market is going down or something too much, maybe then they want to get out. But right now, no, Panini's making too much money and they're having a field day, holding this exclusive license with the NFL. So I don't see them getting out anytime soon. It'll come back eventually, but I give it a few years. There was one more question in the mailbag before. Yeah, it was from Jado Ray here. Oh yeah, I wanted to talk about XRCs. So shout out to James in our Discord server. If you guys are just tuning in, hit the like button. Really appreciate you guys tuning in, watching today, hanging out with me this morning. And this question is from James from our Discord server over at patreon.com/footballcards, one of the many benefits that we offer through there. And this was about the print run and the demand for 2022 XRC, guys. So this is a very exciting product because it is incredibly liquid. And this year, the XRCs are not redemptions. They're actually in the product. So you can see they're live in the hobby product. They're going to fall at 3 per case like previous years and will consist of 20 rookies with parallels. So there's 20 different parallels for XRCs. So when you go to eBay and you're looking at XRCs and you're looking at sold transactions, understand these cards are extremely liquid. So if you can get into an XRC silver of some of these hot rookies for under $30, I'm just going to go ahead and tell you that's a smash buy, because you look at a guy that's like got mid-hype, right? Great college profile. Shout out to Andrew Perry out there. I know he's a big Penn State truther, but Jahan Dotson goes to a subpar situation. I think he's going to get a lot of opportunity this year, but for this card to go for $56 currently, that tells you about the scarcity. It tells you about the hype, the demand that these XRCs have. A lot of hobbyists out there consider the XRC the player's first true rookie card, because typically this is released when Select is supposed to be released, back, like, I don't know, 6-8 months ago. So now that it's coming out this late after the draft, they actually have these guys in the set. What's interesting is some of them they have in pro uniforms. It basically comes down to, did these guys go to the rookie premier event and suit up for Panini? Aiden Hutchinson did, clearly, and they got a picture of him here in the Lions uniform. And yeah, that card sold for $150 virtually yesterday. So big demand there, big defensive players. So defensive players on the board, skill position guys on the board. Jahan Dotson there, he's in his he's in his Washington uniform as well. So yeah, got the pro uniforms going. Gotta love that. Matt Corral hurt already. I don't even know. He's going to miss some extended time too. And this season, chances are not going to start $100. So crazy. If you got him, you pull them. You can sell these for a lot. I was talking to a guy in my Twitter DMs. He pulled a Drake London tie-dye XRC out of a break and already has offers on it for like $750. It's like a numbered out of 25 card, not even autographed or anything. So right now, these cards fetch a pretty penny. I think they will level out, but understand that these cards are going to maintain their liquidity, maintain their resale value because of just the demand for XRCs. Like even like you can go and look at past XRCs, Jonathan Taylor, Justin Jefferson. Look at XRCs from Kyler Murray. Look at XRCs from previous years. They are very rare. 3 per case hit. So you think about it. Case is 12 hobby boxes. It's tough to say how many hobby boxes are out there, but and how many cases are out there. But I would imagine if you guys have any guess, like throw a guess. I would love like any of you guys break a lot out there. Oh no, you perfect timing, Chris. I was just getting ready to talk about Devonta Smith and where he's at. I think Devonta Smith is a little bit overpriced right now, Chris, to be honest with you. But you know, going back to these XRCs real quick, there's a Drake London that sold autograph tie-dye out of 25 for $1,500. So if you can get these, man, somehow cheap in auction for like, I don't even want to say under $50 at this price point, man, these are instant flip opportunities. So, you know, I did a video the other day talking about the top sets for 2022 rookies to invest in. I left this out because they're so rare and they're so expensive right now. But as these level out, they present some really good opportunity. Like even a guy like Tyrion Davis-Price is like the RB3 on the depth chart. Even after Trey Sermon was waived, still $46 plus $5 shipping. Whew, buddy. Because the print run, so talking to Andrew Perry and thinking about how many cases could potentially go out there, he thinks the print run's about 150 or less. So these could be purchased right now and stashed in somebody's collection. You could never see them again for years. And in the amount of listings available for them in the future are just going to be very, very slim. So that's why they are selling for as much as they are right now. And people are just straight up shilling out not shilling, but like shelling out. Shilling's a bad word. You want people to show your auctions and stuff, but they're shelling out the money to buy these cards to go ahead and get them in their collection so they don't miss out on the XRC runs. I mean, wild, the Garrett Wilson going for, there's our guy Jay Jets right there pulling the Garrett Wilson XRC for going for almost $200. Big transaction. So let's look at Devonta Smith real quick because I do think that I want to see where his cards are at now. If I look at where I've got Devonta Smith on my rankings for the Hype Index, which is also getting ready to be released over in the Discord server through our patreon.com/footballcards program. So I'll check it out if you want to check us out over there. But Devonta Smith for me, if I look at my Quest ranking, then let me pull up his rookie ticket auto, because I kind of go straight to his rookie ticket auto. And I like Devonta Smith. He was great in his rookie year to do what he did in a run-heavy offense with Jalen Hurts, who kind of struggled in some accuracy metrics last year. He was pretty good in the short and intermediate sectors of the field, but struggled deep. Definitely struggled deep. And Devonta Smith, let me see where I got him at. Control find Devonta Smith. There he is. So I've got him ranked at number 29. For me, Devonta Smith on the Hype Index is right around Mike Williams, Amari Cooper, Brandon Ayuk range, Cortland Sutton. So you got to ask yourself and like try and compare him to guys in that range. If I was looking at his draft class, I would compare him to Elijah Moore. Compare him to Elijah Moore, Rashad Bateman, and Jalen Waddle. And so let's do that real quick. Let's look at the sold, and let's just go Elijah Moore because I think that's an interesting comparison, only because Elijah Moore has significant target competition in his offense with the questionable quarterback play and one of Zach Wilson, Joe Flacco, Mike White, and Devonta Smith. You know, I think Elijah Moore is going to be featured more as a wide receiver 1, but Garrett Wilson is significant target competition for him. Garrett Wilson was really good in college. So as Garrett Wilson develops, that's a significant target competition, just like A.J. Brown. If A.J. Brown's healthy and on the field, that is significant target competition for Devonta Smith. And he's not like super flamboyant or loud in the media. Devonta Smith, you know, he's He's like the silent assassin type of guy. He just puts his head down and does work. All right, so I think this one right here, which is not a silver, so somebody labeled the listing wrong, but this one that's sold for 33, that's not bad. So again, dude, definitely target them in auction because you could see just 2 days prior, here's one that ended for 60. So like this one ended for virtually half of what the other one ended. So you can see maybe there's a little dip going on right now. And it's all about timing, man. It's all about what people are distracted by. We finally finished the preseason. So I think a lot of people will probably get their kids back to school. You guys trying to get a bunch of things squared away, taken care of, maybe just taking a 1 week, clear their mind before the actual football season starts and the preseason hype is kind of ended. Like a base one going for 30, 40, 30 right here. These ones that are going for 30, that's not, this person put almost season. That's not bad. This is down from where they were at earlier in the off season. I'm gonna tell you, that's not bad at all, 30, because where I had them at, let me see if I can find it. Yeah, I got it right here. No, that's not the folder I want. The comparison that I just did the other night for you guys. Let me pull that up real quick to see what is this it right here? Yeah, there we go. Yeah, there we go. So I had the Devonta Smith, and I get that one is silver at 60, but the base at 30. That's not terrible. I'm okay with that, but I don't think it's got as much upside maybe as Elijah Moore, who could be featured more as an alpha, just because there's a bigger disparity between Devonta Smith and AJ Brown than there is Elijah Moore and Garrett Wilson, just because of how good of a separator and target hog Elijah Moore can be. And there's like no doubt in my mind that AJ Brown is, if healthy, is going to be the target hog, like all over the field type of guy in that offense. Like Devonta Smith will have the occasional spike game, and I think he'll do okay. I think he's really good. But whoops, I just totally did a struggle with multitasking sometimes in the morning. Let's see. Elijah Moore. All right. Let's check it out. Let's go over here to sold transactions. See what we got. All right. Yeah. $22, $4 shipping. So yeah, I'm gonna say $30 base optic contenders, rookie ticket auto, Elijah Moore or Devonta Smith for 30. Not bad. But if I can get, baby, that's sweet right there. Nice little deal right there, man. If I get Elijah Moore for 15, something like that. Look, I can get Elijah Moore for a little bit cheaper. That's going to be my arbitrage or my pivot play right there. And this one's even a silver. This one looks silver. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that looks silver. And they didn't mention it in the listing, so we could click in here and see if in fact this was a silver. That's definitely a silver. You can see how it's got the green. And so basically at a different angle, that would show up as that rainbow finish on the front. And then on the back, bingo, see it's got the prism text there at the bottom. And that is that's what you look for, man. And I can get that card a little bit cheaper. Yeah, I'm getting that card a little bit cheaper, about a 30% discount on what the Devonta Smith is going for. That's going to be my pivot play right there. Let's see. Nice. What's going on, Anthony? Congrats on that, man. You got a Kenny Pickett on. List it and buy it now, dude. But list it high, right? So Kenny Pickett is a guy that does have hype right now because of the first round draft capital, and there's just nobody drafted close to him in this draft. So he's definitely the most hyped quarterback from this draft class, and he's really excelled throughout the end of this preseason process. He's really come alive, and he's got the eyes of the Pittsburgh fan base right now. He's got the entire Pittsburgh market ready to just go wild for his stuff. So I think it's important to like that. You have a 2022 XRC is what you've got, man. That's going to be like a $2,000, $2,500 card, to be honest with you. Let me see if I can find one that's going to be super rare card. And when he gets that first start heading into that first game, Mitch Trubisky's on a very tight leash. So when he gets that first start, that's when you're going to want to sell it, man. That's when the hype is just going to be insanely high. Take the money, run. Like, even look at Kenny Pickett's just silver XRC. That right now is an $800 card. So if you can find anything autographed on here, it's going to be hard to compare it. So you're going to probably have to look at live listings and kind of price yours out next to the live listing. So let's see if we can find any live ones. $5,000. And this one's already got 40 bids. And that's ending Saturday at 11 a.m. So yeah, follow this one. See what it ends at. See how rare yours is compared to this. But understand that card right now is going to fetch several $1,000s, and it's probably going to spike. It's going to peak whenever Kenny Pickett gets his first actual start. But no harm in selling it now, man. People are incredibly hyped up for Kenny Pickett. Yeah, no, dude, don't turn down an insane profit like this, because he could get his first start in a regular NFL game, and the Pittsburgh Steelers have a tough schedule, and he could throw a couple picks, they could lose, and all of a sudden there's a bunch of big, giant question marks thrown up. Well, right now he just came off of a fantastic preseason finish, and Pittsburgh is just like going crazy for his stuff. I mean, look at it, 40 bids, $5,100, auction ending tomorrow. Watch it, see what it ends at, see how people are fighting for this card at the end. That is very telling. And list yours accordingly and get it sold, bro. Get it sold. Yeah, totally agree with WI Cards here. Is the variation rookie ticket auto better than the base? Absolutely. People, and they added a little football, the little V inside the football on the back. The other thing to take into consideration here, Bama, is the actual photo on the card. Some people are, it's all about the aesthetics, right? So some people really like certain photos of players other than compared to other photos. So I think that's one thing. Like Carter and I talk about the photo of Jamar Chase on the base prism, where it's like really not a good photo, not a flattering picture. It's just goofy. And so there's other cards like from Jamar Chase's select photo is way better, So look at the photo variation of rookie ticket autos and ask yourself which one you think is better photo, but then also understand that the variation is just going to be more rare. So let's see if variation, a lot of variations. There's only one photo variation for each, like base contenders and then the optic. But just to get an idea of what that variation sells for compared to the base. So here's the Najee, right? So it's going to be a different photo. And we'll go pull up a Najee. This is a great example because he's super hyped up as well. 27 bids. Ended yesterday at 9 p.m. Went for 150. And you can see there at the bottom, the back on the bottom, it's got the V inside the football. So that's how you know it's a photo variation. There's nothing different on the front except for the photo. So now we go and look up a 2021 Najee Harris. And we don't know how much lower the print run is on this card, but it's definitely lower. So let's go and look up just a regular Najee Harris rookie ticket auto. So this will be the photo right there. So you ask yourself, what jersey color do you like better? Which one? So some things I would look at, right, that are important. What's the home Pittsburgh home jersey color? Here we go. So perfect example. Look at the difference there. Both auctions ended yesterday. The base one went for just $66. The variation went for 142. So yeah, I mean the variation should be a lot more rare. I don't know if it should have that much disparity, but the photo, man, the actual photo here goes a long ways. Like I was talking about the aesthetics, and maybe this one had some apparent corner issues. Yeah, you know, corner edge issues are a big problem with base contenders, so you kind of have to take that into consideration. But which photo do you guys like better? I'm curious to hear what your take is. And then also I would look at how do I get back to that other one? There we go. And then also I would say I would look up and see which jersey is them at a home game. I don't know off the top of my head. Yeah, brother. I hope you cash in, man. I hope you get the bag there on that card, Anthony. What's good, Jets? That's true. So Albert's got a great point here, Anthony. This is an ideal card, man. This XRC Kenny Pickett that you've got autographed is an ideal card to put in an auction. 7-day auction. Have that sucker end Sunday before the game start week 1, man. And let it ride, dude. Started at 99 cents. I know it's going to be tough. Like, you'll be nervous for the first few days for it, but you're going to draw in so many bidders and they're going to get so many notifications about being outbid. You're going to drive that up, and ultimately the market will react accordingly, and it will go up to the several $1,000s that you want to get for it. It's obviously it's a little nerve-wracking, but that is a very, very good strategy for this card because it's so rare. He's so hyped up right now. It's got the perfect combination, the market size, the hype, everything is a perfect storm right now to put that card into an auction for Kenny Pickett. 7-day auction. You can even end it that Saturday night because Mitch Trubisky's going to start that game. They're playing the Bengals. The Bengals defense is pretty solid, man, on paper. I could see Trubisky making some mistakes in that game, and the storyline is going to be the Pittsburgh fan base is demanding that they give Pickett a run. You don't spend a first-round draft pick on a guy to let him sit on the bench. So Trubisky's on a tight leash, man. Tight leash. Yeah, so now you guys know. So I'm curious to see what the Pittsburgh Steelers home jerseys. There we go. I think that might have something to do with it. So it looks like that's their home jersey. It's the black. It's the black with the white letters. So you can think about that, man. That's a big black at home. Boom. There you go. So that plays into it big time, man. It's the whole Pittsburgh fan base. They want that, you know, it evokes a certain emotion, a certain connection to the card, to the picture in the card. It's from a home game. They got the black curtain jersey on, man. So that definitely plays into the value of this. Plus, it's a little bit more rare, a little bit lower print run. So that's definitely going to boost that value as well. So boom, there you go, man. So it's definitely something to look into. And I'm curious to look and see if something I'll look into is see if the other variations are of guys in their home jerseys and the base one is away. That would be an interesting correlation. So definitely the variations then in that case would do a lot better. What's going on, Martin Killick? Does everyone prefer to buy graded over ungraded? Yeah, I talk about both. Definitely talk about both. I get a better market trend. All my market trends are pulled from graded cards. It's the easiest way to pull a market trends because you don't have the inconsistency of condition, right? When you're shopping ungraded cards, you have to consider condition, whether it's the corners, the edges, the surface, The centering is a big factor. When it's a PSA 10, you assume that every PSA 10 is made equal. And a lot of people consider that to be the case, even though it's not necessarily the case, depending on when it was graded by PSA. They could have, or who graded it, could have been done more harshly. But at the end of the day, Martin, go back and watch some of my videos I put out earlier in the summer between raw and graded cards. When a player breaks out, they both go up at about the same rate, right? Of course, there's going to be a certain portion of the market that only buys graded cards. There's also a certain portion of the market that, believe it or not, only buys quarterbacks, and they still don't see the value in the skill position players. Whereas clearly we see hundreds of transactions on a daily basis for skill position players. So, and I see hundreds, thousands of transactions on a daily basis for ungraded cards, for raw cards, especially as a lot of these cards are new. So, I love buying raw, selling raw. You don't have to mess. You don't have to worry about not getting a 10. So the thing is, if you're not getting a 10, most raw cards, when they break out, I see them a lot of times these days sell for almost as much as a PSA 9. Definitely more than a PSA 8. Not many people want PSA 8s. Not many people want SGC 9s and 8s, CSG 9s and 8s. Anything lower than a BGS 9, forget about it, man. They don't want it. So a BGS 9.5 is close to a PSA 10 right behind it. But behind that, you've got SGC 10, CSG 10, and then maybe you could throw in there an HGA 9.5. Their 10s are really rare. But those are kind of the main grading companies. And, dude, there's nothing wrong with buying raw, selling raw. It's a big portion of the market, and we do it all the time, bro. And when you look at before breakout to after breakout, you know, those raw card transactions, especially on the more rare stuff, people don't care that it's raw. If it looks good in the pictures and they can kind of get a good sense that, hey, this card's got a 50% chance, most ultra modern cards, besides apparently the 2021 Prism Trevor Lawrence, have about a 50% gem rate, gem mint 10 rate with PSAs. So, you know, if it centering looks good and the corners look good, those are like the most important things. And then you've got good edge. Of course, the edges and corners kind of go hand in hand. And most edges, though, I think look good. But corners are a big deal. Corners are a big deal. I know for me, I know for a lot of other people out there, that's the first thing I look for is white corners. And I tend to stay away if it's got white corners. But and other than that, centering's a big deal. Like, I'm a big thing about cards being off center. It kind of drives me crazy, so I try and stay away from cards off center, even if it is a more rare card and it's going super undervalued. So, so yeah. But outside of that, it's all about the scarcity and the player and the entry price point that you get in at, man. And if those things line up for you, you'll have no problem selling that thing for a profit, liquidating it down the road. Even one big tip I'll give you guys: display your cards in a one-touch case when you're selling them. Maybe this is something to do with the perception of a card being graded or just being taken care of. Whenever I take all my pictures as the cover picture of raw cards into one touch, the second picture is of the card just raw, just out, propped up, so the lighting is perfect and everything. Then I take a picture of the back out of the one touch. But the first picture, the cover photo for the listing, is always in the one touch. I don't know what it is, man. Maybe it's a little bit of a psychological perception of a card being graded or just being taken care of. And these little diamond corners that it has, just like a slab, kind of highlight the corners of the card. So those are the interesting little tidbits that I've noticed, little anecdotes there. Yeah, man. It most absolutely is. It most absolutely is. I know, Anthony, it's scary, but that is the way, because what happens is you start your auction at 99 cents. And at first, people are going to see that and be like, oh my God, you know, I gotta get in on this thing. So they'll put a max bid in, even if it's low. But when they're outbid, all of a sudden they get a notification I was outbid. And they know, if they're actually bidding on that card, they know that is a card that's going to go for several $1,000s. So these guys will be in that. So every time they get outbid, they're going to get a notification on their phone. And what you've done is you create a bidding war, and everybody wants to watch a 99-cent auction. So you're going to pull in so many watchers, and every single one of those people If you did that, you're going to have hundreds of watchers on that card, hundreds. And when it comes down to that, the closing 2 hours of that auction, people are going to start to get notified on their phone, and it's going to get lit, man. So if you got your auction ending at the right time, at night, I would say at night, like during the season, I would look at doing at night, like a Thursday night or a Sunday night would be ideal. And then let it ride, man. Let it ride. Oh, select in flight. So it's from Chronicles. So yeah, not quite as good as XRC. Yeah. Yeah, it's a WI cards. It's going to get immediate bids. You're going to draw on all those people. 16 out of 25 Panini XRC. Or it's not XRC. It's in flight. So that's from Chronicles. This is definitely not as good of a card for sure when you look at it. 2022 Chronicles in flight. Kenny Pickett. See what the sold is on this. The one out of one is currently listed for 50 grand, but that's probably not going to sell at that. All right, so here we got some better intel for you here, bro. Numbered out of 29, 16 out of 25. So you can kind of look at this one as a good gauge. The problem with this car, and this car just recently sold for a little bit over 400. I tell you the problem with this card. I'm going to show you the problem with this card. The reason why I'm not a big fan of it, unfortunately. One is the college uniform, but they could have counteracted the fact it has a college uniform by putting the rookie card logo and putting Steelers logo somewhere on the card, like they did with the legacy insert, like they did with the prestige insert. They didn't do that on this card. They put the rookie card logo on some of the other select inserts. So this one went for $475. So you're looking at yours could probably fetch maybe closer to 600 because it's a little bit more rare. But yeah, look at this card. You know, it's all college information, which is fine. I like the autograph. It looks to be on card as well, which is definitely nice. Definitely want to consider the centering of your card on this. There could be some pretty wild, pretty easy to tell if this card's off center. But yeah, no rookie card logo, no Steelers logo anywhere. And they could have easily done that. It's like, come on, guys, put a little rookie card shield on this card. They definitely hurt the value of this card by not doing that, unfortunately. So it's still gonna move. You'll have no problem selling it. So you can see auction, one bid went $399, 15 bids, $331. Best offer accepted. There's a 5 out of 5. So yeah, now that you've told me this, I am leaning towards you putting this card up as a buy it now and letting someone reach on it that's got to have a Kenny Pickett autograph. So yeah, maybe you put yours up like $550, $499, something like that. Saying WI said there's one at 760 right now. Let's see. Kenny Pickett auction. Yeah. Okay. Here's one 29. So this is kind of goes into what Jado Ray's question was about serial numbers. So if you've got a jersey number serial number match, you've got a book in. You've got the first one out of the serial number. Those are gonna get you more money. So we got a book in here, 29 out of 29. Guess what? It's in a one touch. Go figure, man. That might be helping it out as well here. But yeah, 29 out of 29. Good looking card. You see how those little diamond cutouts of the one touch really highlight the corners? I'm telling you guys, it's a little trick. It's a little secret, man. And I put it in the description, hey, card does not ship out with the one-touch case. It ships out, whether it's in a bubble mailer or eBay standard envelope. This autograph even has some little streaks in it, which would probably not get a 10 on the auto if you graded it. Centering looks pretty solid here. Pretty solid top to bottom, left to right. So, yeah, watch this one. This one's got 22 bids. Man, his hype has really taken off here right before the season. 40 watchers. So, if we go and look at the bids, we'll see. And this will be a good information for you. Let's go and look at the bids. All right, so he started his at 100. All right, so if you don't feel comfortable doing 99 cents, and maybe that's a little too nerve-wracking for you, start it at something like 100. You want to start it at something low enough that gets the initial bidders in. You want to get, the more bidders you have, the more watchers you have, the better it's going to do at the end. So start it out at something low to where it has this illusion that it could be an incredible deal at the end. And so people will watch it and people will put an initial bid in on it, even if it's low. And what all that does is draw in more people. It gets boosted up in the eBay algorithm. eBay has an algorithm just like YouTube, just like Instagram, Facebook, any social media platform. eBay is a social media platform, and at the same time, it is a marketplace. And so you want to get this card boosted up in the algorithm, start it out something low that makes it look like an incredible deal, and then the people flood in, man. So you can see here all these people flooding in, and look, a lot of those initial bids, AM, PM, I don't know why my thing always wants to standardize on Pacific, but a lot of those bids, man, like super late Pacific time, I guess. Most of those bids coming in pretty early. Sometimes I wonder if cards like this, definitely want to end at game day though. Currently at 760. So yeah, watch this one, man. He's super hyped up right now. 8 different bidders, 22 bids. Great example, man. Great find. Great find, Wisconsin WI. Yeah, man. All right, guys. Roddy says, do you think Trey Sermon and Ian will do okay? God, that running back room is so busy now. Oh, man. I mean, it's going to be a running back by committee. If you thought the Patriots were going to be difficult to pin down which running back gets the opportunity on any given week, the Raiders, another team that are just 3 4-headed monsters at this point. The Eagles have become that, and we have no clue. Like Miles Sanders is always hurt. Kenneth Gainwell gets the high leverage opportunities in the red zone. Trey Sermon was the RB2 apparently on the 49ers depth chart. No more. So I don't know, man. I'm staying away at this point, to be honest with you. The Eagles backfield, I got to see an actual game log here, week 1 against the Lions. Maybe analyze it the first few weeks before I really have any sense of who could potentially break out. Man, it's I don't like 3 and 4-headed running back by committee team monsters like that. I mean, it's going to drive the prices down of all those guys. And it's going to take some injuries for one of those guys to be a lead dog in that backfield to where they get at least a 50. Right now, we're looking at 25% opportunity share from each guy. Travis says he likes the promo cases better because they're designed to fit a card and penny sleeve in it. I dig it. I have to check out the pro mold. The other thing, and the pro mold may do better, is less scratches. Like these one touches from Ultra Pro, they get scratches so easy. I don't know if you can see that, but yeah, they get scratched up so easily, and that definitely doesn't help when you're taking pictures of cards and stuff. So, Steve says, I'm curious to see if prices drop a few weeks into the season. They always do, bro. They always do. The best time to buy football cards is in November, right around Thanksgiving. That's the best time. You look at the chart for Joe Burrow, that time last year, prices were incredibly low. T. Higgins, all those guys, prices were incredibly low because they were not front runners for MVP. The one thing I'll say this doesn't apply to guys on quarterbacks, especially quarterbacks. This is very particular to quarterbacks. If they go 3-0, start out undefeated, they automatically will become front runner consideration for MVP. If they're front runner consideration for MVP, their card prices are going to continue to climb from right now through that time period until they start losing, start getting knocked off, start falling out of the MVP judge's consideration, right? And then if that's the case, November is such a great time to buy then for a big spike in the playoffs. And then it doesn't just fall off after the playoffs. It levels off and then it appreciates again into the NFL draft. That's what the new hype cycles look like now in the hobby for football cards. So yeah, I'm saving up right now to plan to absolutely buy into good athletes, either on bad teams or guys that are in contract years that are going to be on new teams next free agency, or guys that are just good on good teams, but maybe they're not undefeated. Maybe their quarterback is struggling a little bit out of the gate, and therefore their prices dip because, like you said, there is going to be MLB playoffs and NBA season starting soon. So that's signals a good buying window for them to appreciate big time heading into the playoffs. So obviously, make sure you guys are subscribed. Stay tuned because we'll be following those opportunities on a weekly basis heading into that period, and we will be ready to strike. So until then, guys, I'll see you. I actually got to go put out some more content later today, this weekend. So stay tuned. I'll see you guys there. Peace.